Today I want to talk about something near and dear to my heart, and that is one Dracul Mihawk. Mihawk is one of the coolest iced out characters I've ever seen in One Piece. I'm in love with his design, I'm in love with his character. I've been a fan since day one, since we saw him at the Baratie. But a lot of people are not giving Mihawk the respect he deserves. A lot of people don't even think he is in the top 10 to 15 strongest people in the verse. And I'm here to clear that up because Mihawk is in fact definitely in the top 10, if not top 5 strongest people in the verse. So let's do some background research, go back way back to the Baratie arc where Mihawk was first introduced, where he rode in on that coffin like a G. He defined strength back then. He was the strongest person we've seen aside from Shanks, but we didn't know Shanks was like that guy until later on in the story. But Mihawk appearing at the very beginning of the story broke the goddamn community. It is insane that we saw Mihawk so early in the series, mainly because when we have a character that's like, I'm going to beat X person, he is the strongest, that's my goal. We don't really see this until, maybe 500 chapters in or like 200 chapters in when they finally reveal who the strongest swordsman is. But no, right off the gate, like literally in 30 chapters, we see Mihawk, the world's greatest, show up. And he lives up to the title very easily. He was able to cut a galleon ship in half, deflect a bullet with his sword, and this is before Haki was even introduced. Like, we didn't know what that was, but he was already demonstrating observation Haki and probably armament Haki when he cut that ship in half. He then also made my boy Zoro look like a baby. He completely dismantled his swordsmanship, but at the end, Zoro did earn his respect and Mihawk spared his life, telling him to aim to beat him and he will wait at the throne until Zoro is ready. Mihawk was already an amazing character, and seeing him do something like this for Zoro and to see that much potential in him spoke volumes to Mihawk as a character and the strength he possessed, because he could see that Zoro would one day come for his head. So he was like, I'm gonna have a challenge, I'm gonna let this guy live. But Mihawk, as anytime he's in the manga or in the anime, he is steadily beyond belief. He has never really broken any expectations I've had or broken the image I've had of Mihawk. Mihawk has lived up to world's greatest swordsman every time we've seen him, and still people don't think he's strong, or they think he's below Yonko and Admiral, which is insane to me. First of all, the One Piece world is huge. Do you know how many swordsmen there are? We've seen Rayleigh, we've seen Ryuma, we've seen tons of different swordsmen, Cavendish and Fujitora. And who stands at the top of all of that? It's Mihawk. Mihawk is the strongest swordsman, the strongest in the whole world. And you're gonna tell me that an Admiral and a couple of Yonko are gonna dog walk Mihawk. No. Mihawk is going to be one of the strongest and fiercest characters we've seen. And come these new arcs, now that he's part of the Cross Guild, we're gonna actually see Mihawk be able to show off some of his skill, because a lot of speculation is we don't know what Mihawk can do, and the stuff we've seen hasn't been really that impressive. Because let me explain. Mihawk has not been trying at all this whole series. So in these next few arcs, Mihawk's about to turn it up and show us feats of why he's the strongest and show where his level is. But until then, I'm going to defend Mihawk. So first, let's talk about some of his feats and why he deserves to be at the strongest level in One Piece. So first of all, he is Shanks' dueling partner. Right now, we assume Shanks is the strongest person in the verse aside from Inu. Out of everyone right now, Shanks is number 1, and I don't think anyone really would argue with that. But Mihawk was Shanks' dueling partner. They used to duel all the time. They had a score to settle. There was some losses, some victories. So if the strongest man in the verse currently is dueling with Mihawk, doesn't that make him top 2 or below? Like at least top 10. And when he went to go visit Shanks and show him Luffy's first wanted poster, he was saying, I'm not interested in dueling Shanks anymore because he lost his arm. So Mihawk was fighting Shanks at full power with 2 arms. And Shanks has always been a beast. He's always had his Haki under control, Conqueror's observation, armament. He's had all that and probably had Conqueror's coding since the beginning of the series. And Mihawk was contending with that. So that just knowing that they dueled means that Mihawk had to have advanced observation, advanced Conquerors, and advanced armament to be even able to keep up with Shanks. And we already know that Mihawk has insane observation. He also has the eagle eye, that is kind of exclusive to him, Emu, and then I believe Luffy kind of has it when he does Gear 5, but there's something about that eye that only the strongest people of the verse have that eye. I also want to highlight that Mihawk is is one of the only people in history to have a black blade. He has a true black blade and is one of the 12 supreme graded blades. Since we haven't seen Mihawk actually get challenged or fight, we don't know what the black blade can do. We don't know what the capabilities are, so its destructive power can be insane. And we've already seen what Mihawk can do when he's not even trying. He cut a wave that Aokiji froze, he cut it clean in half with one swing. He shot a shockwave at Whitebeard that Juzo wasn't able to block, he had to deflect it. Mihawk is cracked beyond our wildest imaginations. And people have this notion that he's not Admiral and Yonko level, but I want to point out that if he's fighting Shanks on equal terms and Shanks is a Yonko, that means that Mihawk is definitely Yonko level. Not to mention, in Wano, we literally just saw how terrifying swordsmans are for Kaido. Kaido, for the first time, had to dodge an attack, and that was from Zoro putting Haki into Enma. And even Big Mom was like, hey, that sword's not normal, you got to dodge. And Kaido got out of the way. Kaido was almost defeated by a swordsman, Odin. And Kaido is king of the beast, and everyone says that if it's one-on-one, bet on Kaido, but for this one instance, Odin was going to win until he got knocked out from a cheap shot. And Zoro was the pupil of Mihawk. For him to permanently scar Kaido and to stall Conquest of the Sea for, 2 seconds, which is the strongest attack we've seen in the verse, it speaks volumes for the master who trained Zoro, Mihawk. And if a swordsman was giving Kaido so much trouble, imagine what the greatest swordsman in the world could do to Kaido. If they fought, I would still say, it's 50-50 who could win, but I would definitely see a possibility for Mihawk to win, especially because he is very durable. During the War of the Best, he didn't even get hit once. He didn't break a sweat, he didn't get hit. So he could definitely be agile enough to dodge attacks and to fight Kaido and keep up with his speed. And then also with the destructive power of his black blade and the strongest swordsman, he could probably kill Kaido if he needed to. And I don't like using bounties as a measurement of power because I don't really believe in that, especially with stuff like Buggy. But I do want to mention that out of everyone, Luffy has been working his ass off to get to 3 billion. And Mihawk's first bounty post the Warlord abolishment is 3.5 billion. I'm not really sure what Mihawk's bounty beforehand was. I think I read somewhere it was like in the 500 millions. But him to jump to 3.5 billion, the government definitely values him as one of the strongest people. And it makes sense because he is the world's greatest swordsman. But I don't think he's 4 billion only because he doesn't really cause destruction. I have not seen Mihawk going around pillaging and killing or anything like that. Like the other Yonkos definitely do, so that's why they're much of a threat to the general public. But Mihawk's just doing whatever the hell Mihawk wants to do and not really following any laws. Now that we're in the Cross Guild era and they're working with Buggy, there's more chance for him to go up in value. And that's what I'm really excited about. I'm really excited for these new arcs, and I hope we get to see a great fight with Mihawk and Mihawk showing off his abilities more, because before we get to the final Zoro versus Mihawk, we still don't know what Mihawk's full capability is. And as a man who has the Hawkeyes and has a supreme grade blade, there's no telling what Mihawk's full ceiling is once he actually goes all out. He can definitely take on an Admiral, he can definitely take on a Yonko, and it's just weird to me that the One Piece community doesn't think he's part of the top 15 or top 10 strongest people in the verse. And I can't wait till we see arcs where Mihawk is actually fighting different people and showing off his actual skill, and then everyone will be able to come to the conclusion that Mihawk is definitely in the top 10, top 5 even, of the strongest characters in One Piece. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, but tell me, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Mihawk is that guy and is part of the strongest 15 in the One Piece verse, or do you guys think he's weak? But I'd love to know you guys' thoughts in the comments below, but thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.